My name is Gabriela. I am a belly dancer, ancient, feminine, oldest dance form in the world, the most feminine art form, very expressive. And what I wanted to focus on today is the emotional openness that is actually maybe even the most important component of the dance. If a dancer lacks her emotional she's not open emotionally, she has her emotions blocked, she is unable to have the sensitivity of an artist to express, to really allow these energies to flow through her body. She's really not an oriental dancer. This is the ancient way of being for humans. Historically, this is the goddess way. This is before the artificial matrix mind control that is only patriarchal, only on our left hemisphere of the brain. It is in the right hemisphere of the brain where we have our genius, our imagination, our intuition, our unconscious, that we can connect to the interconnectedness, that we become we, not I. We get out of just the logic and the can't say it, the fragmentation and the analysis. We see holistically, and we become more empathic because of that. So the true artist really translates that unconscious through her own unconscious into the collective unconscious. Jung spoke about it. And from there, once we get through the shadow, which is everything that was suppressed, repressed, denied, culturally, because we were living in this patriarchal, only masculine culture, once we get through it, but it needs to be expressed in a healthy way for us to heal. So the artist's role is to kind of interpret and translate that realm from the collective, the soul of the world, like an oracle. The artist is always a mystic, and a mystic is always an artist, if you ask me. And there has to be, in order to be a true artist, there has to be that connection to the unconscious realm, and that right hemisphere of the brain has to be active. They have to be synchronized. Of course, they have to be both, in balance, because you do need the discipline and all that as well. But I'm talking about like the true ancient way of being and the true goddess way of being, where the genius of the humanity lies. So the artist then interprets what is unsaid, what was repressed, what nobody else wants to say out loud, the shadow of humanity. The artist takes it upon herself to express it through her work. Like for example, I combine it with my writing and my expression of the of my awareness, my social awareness, my awareness of the civilization, what's going on, where we are right now as a civilization, and the times we are in, the phase, the new era, the new energies. What is the medicine? So which is the shadow we need to work through, and which is the medicine, and the potentials of these times, and the evolutionary step for us. So I have that level of the psychic awareness to work with. So I have my spiritual practice to get into stillness, to connect to the goddess, to the 0 point, to get what's coming through. So I'm always, again, in my feminine, in the receptive mode. So it's more of I receive it I'm not generating it out of my conscious mind. I'm more of a receptive vessel. I'm not talking about any gods, any attachments, entity attachments, channeling of any entities or beings, anything like that. I'm going beyond that, and I'm going beyond even the language, okay? Because the right hemisphere of the brain really communicates beyond the language through the symbology, through dreams, and more abstract, right? Archetypes, archetypal level. So, but I wanted to talk about the emotional depth, the emotional aliveness that this culture, along with what we know as the 3D matrix, right? The 9 to 5, the politics and all of that, the government, with another of the same but rewritten programming in most of the New Age teachings and self-development teachings, where they actually condition to shut your emotions down, to develop another false self, another persona, carefully curated persona, and to kind of always pretend that all is, you never get to express yourself, you never get to be your raw, wild self, you never get to speak the truth, say everything that was always ignored, but it's still within you. Express or live the life you never got to live because of this oppression system, and because the feminine energy and that area of our humanity was literally suppressed, and we were conditioned to shut it down, not to be our authentic, genuine selves. So all of that throughout our lives, and even throughout the ancestral line, it still needs to come out. It still needs to be expressed. Once you voice it, once you speak the truth, you really allow the energy to flow. This is what happens. You don't need to be violent or aggressive about it, but it needs to be expressed in a healthy way, and it's natural that we need to be received by our community, by our human family, and we need to be seen and heard. This is love. This is very, very natural. And these different healing modalities are teaching us that that this is your problem, that you should shove it all down, and namaste, and just accept everything the way it is, and be happy, enjoy yourself. That's the American branding, right? And constantly be positive, love and light on top of everything. And of course, I think by now everybody can tell that it's another false hypnosis, and everybody is basically numb. And whoever, this is for me the worst of the worst in the human condition right now, the numbness, the void of empathy, and total cut off from the body where all the feelings are, and from empathy, right? So here you have the dancer who is emotionally open and expressive, and genuinely, authentically herself in her feelings, vulnerable, and all of that in her power. She is like a perfect vessel for everybody to get triggered by her emotionality, because she shows you, she is a mirror of everything that everybody else is suppressing. So when you go to yoga classes, for example, you kind of learn to stay quiet and be a good girl and do your routine. It's not artistic. I have nothing against yoga, I'm just comparing here. But as a dancer, you become more of this is a different energy dynamic to work with. You become more of a full feminine who, with what they call the dark feminine, who speaks out, who can be in her power. And that Lilith energy can be pretty straightforward, or Kalima energy, you know, stop fucking with me, this is bullshit, you know. We definitely need that energy. So true belly dance artist, she will have it all, and because she will be always ready to react in an appropriate way to the situation with using appropriate energy. That's the mastery. And she will have integrated through her dance practice all of these different energies. We have to come as whole beings, women, because we were so trained and so conditioned to be just a good girl who's always, you know, who's always quiet and comfortable and with everything and palatable, never too much, right? And it's not you that is too much, it's the society that is too little. They treat themselves as too little, and they are too numb. So a belly dancer with her too muchness can trigger all of that that was suppressed in humanity, and mostly in the feminine energy. And the dance is actually meant to open you emotionally, to remind people what was lost in their childhood and in our civilization, what we lost and what we all deep in our soul and in our heart and in our body long for, this feeling of emotional aliveness, of being free to express ourselves fully, express the divinity, meaning allowing all the divine energies to flow through us. That's why I am convinced that I've picked on purpose, from a very high spiritual level, this dance as an archetype and as a medicine and as something, as an empath to trigger people with, to stand as this reminder that goes into the subconscious, into the unconscious realm, and it triggers people. So just wanted to